Good morning to you, my lovely viewer. Rise and shine with Global Entertainment News Morning Boss. I'm your host, Steven, ready to kickstart your day with all the fresh news and stories. And right here with me, bringing an old spark to the studio is.
Bella,
Let's dive into today's headline from a fresh from Punch and the headlines. Vanguard, sorry. Nigerian debt heads for 180 trillion naira as Tinubu seeks 34 trillion naira new loan. Nigeria's public debt is set to exceed 180 trillion naira following Bola Tinubu's request to the National Assembly seeking approval for additional external and domestic loans totaling 34.15 trillion naira. According to the letter, President Tinubu is seeking approval for a new internal borrowing plan of over $21.5 billion, which translates to 33.39 trillion naira at the official exchange rate of 1,590 naira per dollar. The president is also seeking approval of a domestic bond issuance of 757.9 billion naira to settle outstanding pension liabilities in a separate letter to the Senate and House of Representatives, read at yesterday's plenary by the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, the Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas. President Tinubu highlighting the strategic significance of the 2025-2026 borrowing plan, noting that it spanned key sectors of the economy. Tinubu said the 2025-2026 borrowing plan covers all sectors with specific emphasis on infrastructure, agriculture, health, education, water supply, growth, security, and on employment generation, as well as financial and monetary reform, among others.
this is actually a very sad one. If we have to look at it in a very informative way, we are going to say that this is a very tragic and sad one to Nigeria, that we are going to continue on the aspect of borrowing money over and over again. This is a huge sum of money that is accounting for 33.39 trillion naira in the space of 2 years, and then we are already in a debt of 180 trillion naira plus this 33 we are accounting for. Like, I don't really know how to say this, but I feels like our president or our leaders does not have the best interest of Nigerian at heart. Because if the election is coming in the next 2 years, and then he's already planning for 2025 and 2026 loan, it's as if that he's already made up his mind that okay, he's sure of it that he's not going to be coming for the second time, but he makes sure that he wanted to accumulate a whole lot of debt and then keep for the next person that is going to be taking over the position. That's too much. If this debt keep on rising, how is the next person going to be able to like clear up the debt? We in Nigeria, we are not patient enough to give the next person on the seat to say that he wants to clear up the debt. We are going to be complaining and then put the whole pressure on him and say that this person that was there before was doing good. We are enjoying before, we are still managing, even if we are suffering. But we don't have that time. We don't have the patience. We don't have trust in people. We don't have trust in leaders. The little mistake that they done, we have already seen it as a big mistake for choosing that person in that seat. So how are we going to clear this debt in the next 2027 election that is coming if he's not going to be there again?
Oh, well, I think it's actually it's left for this administration. But I keep saying this debt we are actually getting every time, seeking for loan and everything. It's something that only the government know their way of paying it back, because for someone to be able to give out that huge sum of amount of money for loan, there should be something they have actually placed down as collateral for the loan, which we don't know yet. All right, moving up to our next story from the Vanguard this morning. PDP to Tinubu, insecurity, economic worsen under your watch. Against all odds, the People Democratic Party (PDP) yesterday held its 99th National Executive Committee (NEC) meeting, where it expressed worry over the worsening insecurity dwelling state of the economy under President Bola Tinubu's watch. It also accused the All Progressive Congress (APC) of attempting to stifle opposition party and turn Nigeria into a one-party state. Also, the party's NEC yesterday said it would consider the resolution of its Southeast Caucus as the meeting slated for June 30, 2025. These were some of the resolutions contained in the communique um, issued at the end of the meeting held in Abuja. The meeting, which was postponed multiple times due to various issues, were convened to address pressing matters within the party.
Well, I feels like talking about the insecurity in Nigeria, and then one party decided to point finger at the others. Is as if that this party was never there before. Because during the time of the PDP, this insecurity started when they were there before the APC comes in, and then we tend to like point fingers when it comes to all those things. I know that we don't work together in Nigeria when it comes to all that. We don't work together because this person is an opposition party. There is nothing that is going to bring us together unless when we needed to dine together and wine together, have a meeting that has to do with salary payments and all that. That is the only thing that they needed to come together. But when it comes to the development of Nigeria, the improvement, the security of Nigeria, they tend to like, oh, this party is not doing it the way I should have done. If at all I was there, I could have. We don't share ideas among. They don't share ideas among themselves. They don't want it to contribute to this person before the ruling party will not be the one to receive the award for it for their good. Like we are all in this together. We are in this country together. If we attend to say that, okay, because this opposition party have bring the election and then it's there, we don't want it to do any other thing to actually step in and support them. We are actually doing ourselves a big harm than good.
It's actually very, very bad for we to have and always believe in having opposition parties in everything we do, and having opposition parties probably even in the Senate, in the House of Rep, everywhere. You see that they are tend not to work hand to hand, because this person believes I'm in this party, I'm in this party. Sharing of ideas doesn't come in. All right, moving up to our next story from the Vanguard this morning. Federal government directs JAMB, WAEC, NECO to blacklist CBT centers, candidates guilty of exam malpractice. Minister of Education Dr. Tunji Alausa has directed the Joint Administration and Matriculation Board (JAMB), West African Examination Council (WAEC), the National Examination Council (NECO), as well as National Business and Technical Examination Board (NABTEB) to blacklist computer-based test CBT centers and candidates found guilty of examination malpractice. His directive said to be a response to the mind-boggling sharp practice that failed the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) was contained in a letter dated May 27, 2025 to JAMB and other examination bodies. Alausa particularly said any school or CBT center involved in examination malpractice or acting as a miracle center be recognized for a number of years that would be determined by the examination body. He said if any school CBT center is recognized by any examination body, other sister examination bodies should follow suit and recognize the same school CBT center for the same number of years to run concurrently. This will send a very strong signal to operators of these miracle centers.
Well, I actually found it funny at the stage what they're actually talking about. Well, I'm going to say that examination malpractice is not a good thing, but at the same time, it feels like our school educational bodies right now is really following up some kind of in a very certain way that even we are behind every development of the school where other the Asians and the Western countries are actually practicing now. We are very far behind of it. And then when they are now going to be talking about examination malpractice, I still feels like this is not supposed to be happening in Nigeria. We really need because you can't be in the CBT center where the laptop you're using is malfunctioning, the network is not good, and all that is not actually in a good environment for you to actually start with. So, what are they going to do about it? If they're going to say that they wanted to blacklist or disrecognize any center that actually practice in this malpractice and all that, then there's going to be another way to sort it out. There should be a camera everywhere that needed to, and then every student that is going to take that is going to sit for an exam needed to be well prepared for it, not just by guess say or because right now we are most children they are not even well focused in education.
All right, I believe it's due to the failure of our examination body that generates more miracle centers around the nation. Because if they have actually given us a reason not to feel, even the school system has actually failed us a long time ago, and this is the main reason why people always believe in miracle centers. Because parents will not want to see after paying school fees for years, and a child gets to that particular stage and you expect that child to fail the exam. So they believe in seeking on miracle centers for their child.
Parents are
So
also
yeah.
involved in all this when it comes to allowing your child to actually study very hard, give them the opportunity to make sure that education is very important in their life, but they tend to like give them the upper hand to push them forward instead of allowing them to, well, I don't really know.
All right, moving up to our next story from the Vanguard this morning. Adopters of three church members in Odo demands 15 million naira ransom. Adopters of the three members of the Deeper Life Bible Church in Akure North Local Government area of Ondo State have reportedly demanded a 15 million naira ransom for their release. Recall that the church members were adopted Monday morning evening while returning from Bible study at Kasamola area of Obese community. The family source told newsmen that the adopter has open line of communication with the family and leadership of the Deeper Life Bible Church. The source said, yes, they have contacted us and have demanded the ransom of 5 million naira per proposed victim, where we are raising money from well wishes and church members to be able to pay the ransom. Meanwhile, the church leaders have organized prayer warriors to intercede for the release of the kidnapped church members. So I think this is actually is what we have been saying a long time ago. The rate at which kidnapping has actually rampant the country is really, really alarming. Just imagine people, someone actually waking up from your home, dressing up, going out in the morning, say you are going to church to pray for a better life, for a better day, a better month, and this actually happens to a particular person. It's a sad one, I tell you, and I tell you this alone sef would actually reduce members from the church, because people will be like, this church is not actually safe for us again to go to, and it's really, really saddening and bad for us to hear kidnappings keep happening every time and every time. Last one we heard about was the kidnapping of JAM and WAEC student. Now we've seen another one of church members. Before you know it, you will start hearing about kidnapping in marketplaces also.
Well, that has already started happening in the northern part when some terrorists actually go into the market and kidnap and load a whole lot of food and all that. Well, I would feels like this thing needed a very thorough security personnel to go into it. I'm already feel concerned about when it's come to secure our security personnel in Nigeria. It seems that like things like this never actually like have a lot of attention than needed to it, a lot of investigation and going into the this things and then trying to rescue those people. All the I don't I feels like Nigerian is really really at the verge of breaking apart right now.
All right, moving away from the Vanguard this morning. Our top story today from the Guardians. 19 passengers rescued from kidnappers after 21 days in Rivers. 19 passengers abducted while traveling to Beli along the Isaka River, Rivers State, has been released after 21 days in captivity. The passengers were freed on an operation carried out by the Royal Forge Security Service Limited, popularly known as Amama soldiers. The victims have been taken by pirates to an undisclosed location where a ransom of 100 million was demanded. A breakthrough occurred when another victim who had earlier paid a ransom of 10 million naira informed the monarch of Purusalarmu Piri, Alhaji Mujahid Tokunbo Asare. Acting swiftly, Tokunbo Asare mobilized the security outfit for the rescue mission. According to the statement by the chief press secretary and palace spokesman Dafari Christopher Paredi, the mission led to the successful rescue of 19 of the 20 abducted passengers. All right. Oh, I think this is
Yeah, another kidnapping issue that we are hearing right now, and then out of 20 passengers, they rescue 19, and that is a good one. But at the same time, we are in fears in Nigeria. We are in fears in our own mother's land right now. That even to go out for a brief walk, you are scared of not being taken by unknown gunmen or being attacked on a highway without even knowing how you are going to be rescued. Like death is just one a few steps away from each and every Nigerian that is living in Nigeria. Then the leaders are actually focusing on how to loan more money of the 33.39 trillion naira and then try to use it for another thing that does not even have to do with the security, the insecurity that is happening in Nigeria. I don't know how long this thing is going to continue, but it feels like we are running out of a lot of safety in Nigeria. It's not funny, but we are running out of a lot of safety in Nigeria.
I think the government and the administration in charge of security is they really need to come together, have probably a conference meeting for us to know what's really happening in this country and how to fight issues of this kidnapping rampage in the society. Oh, we're moving up to our next story from the Guardian this morning. Children's Day, FIRS governs canvas tax education, good policies, better society. In commemoration of the 2025 Children's Day yesterday, the Federal Inland Revenue Service (FIRS) considered inclusion of tax education in both primary and secondary school curriculum to enhance tax coverage. Its executive chairman, Dr. Zach Adedeji, who spoke in Abuja at a public presentation of a book titled Taxation: Essential Knowledge for Nigerian Children, stressed the need to create awareness to upcoming generation of Nigerians to become tax compliant. Presented by the Special Assistant of Research and Statistics, Dr. Aisha Mahmood Ahmad, the FIRS boss lamented that less than 19% of Nigerians pay taxes. He described the figure as abnormally low compared to other African countries like Egypt and South Africa.
Well, I'm going to say that, well, if they are already comparing themselves to the other African country when it comes to tax payments, I feel like those countries were well developed enough that they have their database inputs, like every other things were working very fine. If you are paying a tax in a country and then you are seeing what your taxes is bringing into your security and then foods are being available. You don't have to stress yourself over trying to eat 3 square meal a day. Then you know that the government are really working for you. The tax you are paying to the government is doing something. Let me say that when the only people that they actually focus on more on tax paying is all those international companies that are in Nigeria, and then all that rich wealthy people that are in Nigeria. That is where they focus on, and then their database is not even complete because some of them self they don't even keep record of it. If you are into good technologies that has to put everybody, how many people are aware that there is tax payments? If you go to the rural area, they don't even know that there is anything called tax.
I actually see that statement as a poor man actually wishing to be big as Bill Gates. Because if you don't really work on your hard work and work on yourself alone, you wouldn't get there. It's very to me. I see that statement as a wrong one. You can't be comparing yourself to countries like Egypt and South Africa. We
South
know South
Africa is
Africa has been very good in their fighting their economy, fighting security, fighting a lot of things in their country. Likewise, Egypt, and we are comparing yourself to a country whereby they have good database, good roads, good. We can't even compare ourselves to countries like that because we are really lacking in so many
we
things.
are lacking in so many things when it comes to that. How many people in Nigeria that actually know that there is need to pay for tax? They don't even know. And then when it comes to that, you see people in the market square holding books and then saying that they wanted to collect money for where you are keeping your shops and all that. And that is what they actually feels like it has to be coming in. If those things are actually working in a daily basis and everybody we are comfortable, I don't feel like there's anybody that has to walk on their foot on the street just to carry journal and all that because they wanted to collect that. This thing has to be done electric in your bank. The moment you receive your salary is being deducted from it. But Nigeria database does not. We don't even have a good technology in Nigeria.
All right, moving on to our next story from the Guardian this morning. UBEC tax states on 500 million educational grant. State governors have been challenged to be pragmatic in meeting the requirement of accessing matching grant funds meant for the development of basic education. This was on the resolution adopted at the 26th quarterly meeting of the Universal Basic Education Commission (UBEC) management, which was attended by the executive chairman of the State Universal Basic Educational Board (SUBEB), continued at the Government House in Makurdi, Benue State yesterday. The executive secretary of UBEC, Aisha Gaba, who gave a charge, said the meeting was the executive chairman of SUBEB was not just a routine engagement but a call to action to confront barriers hindering states from fully unlocking available resources, simplify administrative process and access the funds to deliver the desired results of school children. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, presented by the Deputy Director of Basic Education, Joy Onoja, told the delegates that significant progress had been made from the resolution of previous quarterly meeting to review the Universal Basic Education Act 2024 with the launch of over $500 million loan aid program to aid education of millions of Nigerian students. Alausa insisted that the ministry would continue to advocate for quality basic education as a fundamental right of every child by fostering strategic partnership and implementing innovative solutions that change the education sector.
Is it now that they have to be talking about the education sector and then they are still talking about a loan of 500 million that needed to go? I'm still wondering how we are going to continue on this talk and not doing activities in Nigeria, because if this thing is supposed to mean a serious thing for them, because many of those leaders, they don't allow their children to school in Nigeria. They don't even want them to stay in Nigeria to acquire any basic education. When their wife is pregnant, they take them out or overseas and then allow them to put to bed there and then have that is what they use the money to do. When it comes to Nigeria, we are always going to hear word and not being done. If the Nigerian education system is still lacking behind up till now, and then they are just coming with a fresh idea on how the children, the school children, and all that needed, they are not even talking about the new basic education that is going around the other country, but they are still talking about the old system of education that is all they focus on.
It has been a tradition in this country where we come out and tend to make people believe they're actually working. Jubeb have actually been silent for a long time now, and I believe the main reason why they are coming outside to make this declaration or this delegation is because of the children's day. I believe it's concerning children and it's concerning education at the same time, and they believe for people to really hear their voice and hear that they are we still alive and actually doing their job, they have to bring up issues and talks like this. Owing $500 million is actually a huge money, and I believe within the UBEB, this money can actually be brought out because there are so many funds that are actually going to them. Monies that come from JAMB, monies that come from WAEC, there are some commission that goes to UBEB, and I believe this money is something they can actually
Pull out
themselves and make donations from yourself. This money is the same money. After this money comes out, I tell you,
all the
out of that 500 million, I tell you, is either they embezzle 300 million out of that money to fit their own pocket and everything, and tell us that it's 200 million they used to do things and everything. We are used to those stories. I'm
all the
used to
salary that they are receiving, millions of money that they are receiving as salary, they can't even like contribute money, like do something among themselves and then put this money together and then use it for something for a better Nigeria. But all they think about is how they are going to be getting loan, how they are going to like, oh my goodness.
All right, we've come to the end of today's program on Global Entertainment News Breakfast Show. Thank you for joining us today. I've been your host, Steven. Be sure to join us again tomorrow. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on all our social media platforms for more news and updates. Have a blessed day. Bye.